For centuries, mankind has told fantastical stories of benevolent and malevolent, translucent-like beings existing in subtle forms. These beings are often described as having human-like features, but themselves are not human. They are either subhuman or transcendent of humans. These stories are told throughout religion, folklore, and mythology. In the West, these beings are called angels, and in the East, they are called devas. Other indigenous traditions have similar stories of nature spirits who dwell deep in the forest or frolicking in the wide open meadows of the countryside. These angelic-like beings exist in various states of energy, but overall, they are beyond the threshold of normal human eyesight, and therefore require clairvoyance in order to perceive them. Essentially, angels or devas exist within every point of space. In fact, one might say there is no place in all creation where they do not exist. They are servants of God who work according to the plan of evolution in any particular realm and have many grades or ranks within a vast hierarchy in the universe. In essence, they are the energy of life itself, which vitalizes all forms throughout creation, including mankind. The angelic kingdom is what composes the substance of our inner bodies with their own innate intelligence. Their pure energy is what we feel in our emotions. And like all things evolving into mastery, we must learn to govern these forces, to serve rather than disrupt. These Devic forces govern the inner intelligence within all nature, from the most delicate flower to the highest, majestic redwood. These forces also give rise to outer natural phenomena such as storms, hurricanes, or earthquakes. These disturbances are caused by many factors, including global disharmony. This lifts the veil to our symbiotic relationship with this intrinsic part of nature and how these forces serve personally and globally. Without this vitalizing kingdom, life would be void of its proper holistic state. Outside of folklore or religious text, many people around the world have had experiences of flashing light or translucent orbs seemingly floating in the air. Religion and folklore has conveyed a more mystical perspective, so if we seek a more scientific understanding, we turn to the esoteric side of life, to the ageless wisdom. Here we can learn that the angelic kingdom are vitalized through color, sound, and motion. Their particular state of vibration or evolution create varying combinations of colors and sounds, which determines the overall quality of their work. Each logos has its own unique sound, which radiates from its center of being, and through that will, angels respond to that unique sound, building the required forms out of their own substance, so that the evolution of consciousness can unfold within that particular form. Angels have no free will as we understand it. In their highest form, they consciously respond to the Word of God, or Logos. But in their lowest forms, they respond both to the conscious and unconscious will of man. This opens the door to understanding the use of white magic versus black magic. It is said that during Atlantis, the dark side of man used these elemental forces for their own selfish purposes. Much harm was done in these warped practices, and thus the sinking of Atlantis. The ageless wisdom has come to us in many traditions, but in more recent times it was brought through extensively by the Tibetan master Dwa Kul. In the book Treatise on Cosmic Fire, it states, "This is that vital and magnetic fluid which radiates from the sun and which is transmitted to man's etheric body through the agency of certain deva entities of a very high order and of a golden hue. It is passed through their bodies and emitted as powerful radiations which are applied direct through certain plexi in the uppermost part of the etheric body, the head and shoulders, and passed down to the etheric correspondence of the physical organ, the spleen, and from thence forcibly transmitted into the spleen itself. These golden-hued, prancing entities are in the air above us and are specially active in such parts of the world as California, in those tropical countries where the air is pure and dry, and the rays of the sun are recognized as being especially beneficial." So we can see here that all life in the solar system is interconnected, and like a nervous system, the various energies and forces circulate throughout the organism so that their life-giving attributes can bring about the desired effect. This essentially reveals the purpose behind nature and the correlation between mind and body, or as above, so below. The Tibetan also elaborates on the forces working within the solar system. These solar devas take the radiatory rays of the sun, which reach from its center to the periphery along one of these three channels of approach, pass them through their organism, and focalize them there. These rays are then reflected or transmitted to our etheric body. When the etheric body is in good order and functioning properly, enough of this prana is absorbed to keep the form organized. This is the whole objective of the etheric body's functioning. The remainder is cast off in the form of animal radiation or physical magnetism, all terms expressing the same idea. Man therefore repeats on a lesser scale the work of the great solar devas, and in his turn adds his quota of repolarized or remagnetized emanation to the sum total of the planetary aura. The planet absorbs solar prana, assimilates what is required, and radiates off that which is not essential to its well-being in the form of planetary radiation. Planetary prana, therefore, is solar prana, which has passed through the planet, has circulated through the planetary etheric body, and has been transmitted to the dense physical planet. and has been cast off thence in the form of a radiation of the same essential character as solar prana, plus the individual and distinctive quality of the particular planet concerned. This again repeats the process undergone in the human body. The physical radiations of men differ according to the quality of their physical bodies. So it is with the planet. Therefore, we can see that there are two groups of devas working in connection with man. The solar devas, who transmit the vital fluid which circulates in the etheric body, and the planetary devas of a violet color, who are allied to man's etheric body, and who transmit Earth's prana, or the prana of whichever planet man may be functioning upon during a physical incarnation. Let us now look at the angelic kingdom as it expresses itself through the human kingdom. The great deific life who ensouls every human being is called a solar angel, and the substance of their vibration is what we call the causal body, or temple of the soul. The union of the solar angel and human soul is an intimate one. The solar angel inspires the personality to awaken to the soul's calling. To quote the book Emmanuel, these angels are gathered to promise the soul that it will not be left alone, and at the same time to bid Godspeed. These solar angels remain with us until the final days of our liberation from the lower worlds, when finally, after millions of years in sacrifice, they are free to pursue their own higher evolution. Devas within the subhuman kingdoms are referred to as elementals. They have not yet passed through the human kingdom, and therefore are of an involutionary nature and unconscious to the plan. Humans act as a gateway for elementals to move up the evolutionary ladder, to become devas. These angelic hosts respond to beauty, harmony, and synthesis, but also respond negatively to hatred, violence, and disharmony. They are attracted to people whose auras are calm, still, and serene. The angelic kingdom is vast, and you could say there are as many angels as there are atoms. Like the saying goes, you can fit 1,000 angels on the tip of a needle. We are now more appreciative to the meaning of the biblical quote that states that Christ is the master of both angels and men.